How do I think the media has influenced my view of George W. Bush? Um, I think that the media's influence on me has been, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard for me to tell how the media's influenced me because I don't know what I would think about him if I never was exposed to the media. But I think that between, I mean, it depends on different stages. When George Bush was first elected, I watched Fox News almost exclusively. I was pretty conservative and had been a Republican just because my family had been, and that was my background. And I supported Bush. I mean, I really liked him. I thought he seemed like a good guy, and especially going into the war in Iraq, I supported that, which I'm not proud of, but I did. And I think definitely the media affected me in those instances. I mean, the information I was getting was all pro-war, and I don't know if maybe any mainstream source would have been different, but especially with Fox, that's the version of events that I got. So I think for sure the media influenced me and my opinion in that case, but it was also peers and other stuff like that. I mean, there were a lot of other factors, my friends and things like that, and family that had an influence on that. But definitely, I mean, the media influenced my perception. Once I started to watch different kinds of media, and especially once I started relying more on reading, I mean, I think books and stuff like that are a better source of reliable information, especially after things have happened, um, just because they're more free of bias and stuff like that. But um, I don't know if the media affected my perception. I just think the truth affected my perception. And I think when you watch a variety of different sources, you kind of learn to weed out their biases and learn, if everybody's saying the same thing, it's probably more likely to be true. So you just look for what the common threads are and try to figure out what you think is reliable and what's propaganda and do your own research. And the internet definitely makes that easier. And so once I started to do that, I think the media might have influenced me, but I think as far as the way the media portrays Bush, um, I think a lot of people would say that the media is harsh on Bush. I disagree. I think that the media is not kind to Bush, but I don't think he deserves kindness. I think if the media was kind to Bush, then that would be. I mean, even Fox isn't kind to Bush. I mean, that's saying something. I think that the the overwhelming weight of his inadequacies and his incompetence make it so that the media really doesn't have a choice. I mean, even if they wanted to portray him in a positive light, in order to maintain any credibility, they can't do that. I don't think the media has been as harsh on him as they could. I think that it could be a lot worse. George Bush is a war criminal by any objective standard, by the standard that we placed on the Japanese and Germans after World War II. He invaded a country without cause, without valid reason. He made something up and turned out to be wrong, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, Americans and many more Iraqis, have died because of it, and he hasn't been held accountable for that. The media covers his failures mostly as, oh, our image abroad has been damaged, oh, we've lost some soldiers, and that's sad. They've never taken it to the next step and really objectively looked at the fact that our president committed war crimes. And there's really no, I mean, you can agree with those war crimes. You can say he was justified, whatever you may. I mean, if you're Sean Hannity, that might be your position. But he is a war criminal by any standard. Um, he also was completely incompetent. He has nothing. I mean, his presidential library, I don't know what's going to be in there. His biography, I don't know what he's going to write about because there is no legacy of his administration. I mean, he could have claimed the stock market growth, but that collapsed with a recession before he left office. So I mean, I don't see any positive things that have come out of his presidency. He failed on almost everything he tried to do, and the media, I think, from that perspective, they make fun of him for not being able to speak properly, but otherwise, and his policies were a failure. But as far as looking at the criminality of his administration, they really haven't done that. So I think that the media of all kinds, from conservative to liberal and everything in between, is a lot kinder to George W. Bush than they could have been. And I think that my opinion has not really been affected by the media because I would like to see the media be more honest and not assume that just because it's the American president that he must be a good guy and he can't be a criminal. I think that we need to apply the same standard we would to any other country.